definitely more of a concern this evening. So this is a tornado warning that was just issued a few seconds ago. It's in effect until 8:15 tonight. So this line of storms that I will now show you on radar, we've been dealing with this line continuing to move into our area from the west towards the east within the last couple of hours. And within this line of storms, damaging wind gusts over 60 to even 70 miles an hour, very heavy rain, frequent lightning. You can see some of those icons showing up there, even some quarter-size hail within these storms that continues to move from the west towards the east. So this particular storm, located over Dunstown at 7:39. This is moving northeast at 35 miles an hour. The severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. And again, that rotation was radar indicated, so the National Weather Service did issue this tornado warning. So moving northeast at 35 miles an hour, that's a bit quicker than what we were dealing with earlier with those previous tornado warnings that we were on the air for. But this line of storms, this same line of storms, we are now seeing rotation once again. So back on air for the third tornado warning of the evening. But again, a bit of a more populated area, so definitely more of a concern this evening. Jersey Shore and Avis, this storm will impact you within the next 6 or 7 minutes, around 7:50. Williamsport, Cogan Station around 8:10. So again, Williamsport, South Williamsport, Jersey Shore, Lock Haven, all included within this actual tornado warning that remains in effect until 8:15 this evening. So frequent lightning, hail, heavy rain, all associated within this. A little bit of a closer look. So it's the parts of Clinton County and parts of Lycoming County that are in this tornado warning. But we also have several severe thunderstorm warnings. So even the potential, I think, for additional tornado warnings, especially a little bit farther south, we could be seeing additional severe tornado warnings issued there south of Interstate 80. But this line of storms really moving across Interstate 80 in central Pennsylvania. So if you do know anybody in this area, traveling in this area, definitely want to give them the heads up. Frequent lightning associated with this line of storms that's really just now entering the western parts of the Union-Snyder County border, the Beaver Springs area, and you can see that early indication of some of that rotation there. So that is, I believe there's a severe thunderstorm warning. There is a severe thunderstorm warning issued with that line of storms, but I wouldn't be surprised if the National Weather Service does go ahead and issue that tornado warning as well. But we are on air for the tornado warning farther north. Included in it is the Lock Haven, Williamsport, South Williamsport area. So this tornado warning remains in effect until 8:15. Again, Jersey Shore and Avis, take cover now within the next 5 or 6 minutes. You will be impacted there. Again, Williamsport and Cogan Station have until about 8:10 with this tornado warning. Of course, flying debris is the biggest concern within this rotation, tornadic activity. So anyone without shelter, making sure you're taking shelter immediately. If you know anybody who might be in the outside in this area, making sure you're reaching out to them, because flying debris is the biggest concern. Mobile homes can and will be damaged or destroyed within tornadic activity, within tornadoes, damage to roofs, windows, vehicles, trees. Tree damage, of course, also our biggest concern. So the control room tells me they do have a live look from our Williamsport camera right now. I'm not sure if it's Williamsport or South Williams. Okay, our live look from our Lycoming camera in Williamsport. Again, about a little bit of a time before this storm actually gets to the Williamsport area, but you are included in this tornado warning that remains in effect until 8:15. So again, you do have a little bit more time, but anyone in the Williamsport area, making sure you are taking cover, getting to shelter immediately, especially those of you in mobile homes. Mobile homes can and will be destroyed again by damaging wind gusts over 60 to even 70 miles an hour. This severe thunderstorm located over Dunstown, that's moving northeast, capable of producing that tornado, not only producing heavy rain and those damaging winds, but hail too. So I'm going to bring you now to, again, because it's such a more populated area than what we've been dealing with the previous tornado warnings, I do want to bring you now to our tornado safety. Again, heading to the lowest level of your home. The basement is the safest place to be if you do have the option to be in a basement. Otherwise, the first level of your home. getting as many walls between you and the outdoors as possible. So away from any windows, but also just the most interior part of your home, and making sure you're protecting especially your head, but getting under anything sturdy like a table and protecting your head with a pillow or a helmet. Of course, flying debris is very dangerous within tornadic activity, within any sort of rotation. So making sure you're taking shelter, turning up your TV before you do so. If you lose power, anybody you know, of course, who loses power, we are streaming live, I believe, on Facebook and on our app, the WNEP app. If you download the app and then go over to weather, that's where you can get your alerts, but there's also a really good interactive radar on the WNEP app. So again, just recapping, we are on air for the tornado warning that's issued for parts of Clinton and Lycoming County. So if you've been watching the last couple of hours, we had 2 previous tornado warnings for the western parts of Clinton County. Now farther east in Clinton County, included in that is Lock Haven, as well as Williamsport and South Williamsport. So this line of storms, it just continues to move east through the next several hours. I do think the severe threat diminishes once we head into tonight, but we do have still a couple more hours of this threat for severe weather. So showing it to you on radar right over the Lock Haven area right now, again, moving towards Jersey Shore into Williamsport and South Williamsport, Loganton, our biggest concerns within this tornado warning. But farther south, we have the threat for that severe weather there as well. There is a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Union and Snyder County, but you can see some of those early indications of some of that spin, some of that rotation. So we'll see if the National Weather Service does issue a tornado warning there as well. But frequent lightning now entering that Union and Snyder County, the western parts of Union and Snyder County, as this line of storms moves east, northeast at about between 20 and 30 miles an hour. We're seeing this line of storms. And zooming out, you can see there is more of the same. So really this line is extending from the northern part of the state all the way down to the south central part of the state. And that's the trend we've seen with these tornado warnings, again, moving east. So we do have the next several hours that are expected to be active, severe thunderstorm warnings, this tornado warning, of course, which is what we are on the air for, but also flash flood watches in effect for the northern tier especially, but that has been extended down into Lycoming, Sullivan, and Columbia counties. Torrential downpours associated with this line of storms that's moving east. And of course, after issues from last week, saturated ground, poor drainage areas, low-lying areas, our biggest concerns for flash flooding. And you can, again, really see just the frequent lightning associated with this line that's moving right over Lock Haven, again, towards Williamsport and South Williamsport. So all of those included in that tornado warning. And there is, again, the severe thunderstorm warning extending past Interstate 80 down into the Union-Snyder County area, the western part of Union and Snyder County. So that severe thunderstorm warning goes until 8:15 as well. The tornado warning also goes until 8:15, but we will see if the National Weather Service extends that to a tornado warning, seeing a bit of some early indication of some rotation there. And within that line of storms that's moving in, now entering Union and Snyder County, 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts indicated within this storm. And again, of course, frequent lightning and torrential downpours. So this is really crossing over the Interstate 80 line. So if you do know anybody driving on Interstate 80 in this part of central Pennsylvania, try and reach out to them, again, making sure that you are letting them know that this is going on. It looks like between mile markers 158 and 196, if that's helpful to anybody you may know that is traveling on Interstate 80. Again, mile markers 158 to 196, and there is what I'm talking about. Again, we're on air for the tornado warning between Lock Haven and Williamsport, but we also have this line of storms that's just now entering the western parts of Union and Snyder County, and that icon there is that early indication of maybe some of that rotation, but also frequent lightning and very, very heavy rain. And in that storm, over 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts being reported. So just recapping, we are on the air now for the severe weather this evening. This is our third tornado warning so far tonight. The area shaded in red is this tornado warning that is in effect until 8:15, so we do have quite a bit more time as this line of storms continues to move east now into the Williamsport and South Williamsport area. So again, anybody that you may know that is outdoors, especially in this area, in this part of central Pennsylvania, in this part of Lycoming County, this is a much more populated area than what we were dealing with about an hour or so ago with some of those tornado warnings in very rural areas. So this is definitely a concern, making sure you're letting anybody know to seek shelter immediately now. If you are in the Williamsport, Jersey Shore area, now is the time to take shelter. The tornado warning is in effect. Of course, it differs from a severe thunderstorm watch or a tornado watch. The tornado warning is now there. The threat is there as well. So making sure you're getting to the lowest level of your home, the basement, if you have that option. If not, just the first floor of your home, away from any windows, in the most interior part of your home, and covering your head especially from flying debris, so you can seek shelter. You can get under anything sturdy like a table or something like that. But flying debris, of course, is the most dangerous thing within the rotation, within that tornadic activity. So mobile homes can and will be damaged or destroyed, damage to roofs. John Hickey has just arrived. Hello, John.
Hello, hello.
Do you have a microphone on?
I do have a microphone on right
hello.
now. Well, you've been pretty busy here this afternoon, haven't you there, Allie?
I'm so happy to see you.
Yeah, I was actually just home having a little dinner with the wife, and yeah, here we go. More tornado warnings.
Hello, weather wife. I know she's watching.
She's definitely watching. Yeah, you've had a couple of tornado warnings today out in Clinton County.
And now we're seeing them farther east, the eastern part of Clinton County, and extending into Lycoming County. So I was saying this is a much more populated area, definitely a bigger concern now.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, as we start getting into, just where there's bigger population centers, I mean, there's more stuff in the way that, this tornado warning is a hazard for it. Allie, how long does this tornado warning go until?
Until 8:15. It's 7:54 right now.
Okay, so you've got another 15 minutes or so. Right now, looks like the storm's probably, just coming out of Clinton County, going into Jersey Shore. It's going to continue northeastward from there. And this thing's, they've been moving along pretty good. And kind of the theme of what we've been seeing here today is these storms kind of really get spun up and then they kind of go back to the northwest and they kind of get absorbed back into this main line. So we're getting these little renegades that kind of pulse out, they spin up, potentially dropping a tornado. We've seen a few warnings today. You got to take it seriously. And then it kind of retrogrades back up into not retrogrades, but it gets sucked back up into the line. And now we're seeing, actually, Allie, as you were just back there, it looks like some stuff heading into Snyder County too. Saw that early rotation signal
yeah, I was talking about that while you were driving here. We've seen that for the last couple of minutes. So there is a severe thunderstorm warning for Union and Snyder County, the western parts of Union and Snyder. Of course, a lot of lightning associated with that too. So definitely taking shelter either way, but no tornado warning for that
No
right
tornado
now.
warning yet. But I mean, we've seen this today. We've seen these storms. They have that tornado possible signature from the National Weather Service of the designation, and then it's really not long after that sometimes that you can get these things to really kind of pop up. And again, that's why we're breaking into programming. I mean, we're not doing it to hear ourselves talk. I mean, we've got a situation here where we've just got to really be heads up. So what time is it? 7:55 now. Warning goes till 8:15. So the concern here is, again, we're watching that storm coming out of Clinton County, heading into far western Lycoming County. So some of the communities, we just want to give you a heads up here, some of the communities that are in the path. Do you know the speed of this, Allie, by chance?
35 miles an hour.
About 35 miles per hour. Okay, so I'm going to pop it on the last scan here. We're going to go on max 2 in just a hot second. Let me get this set up. So moving probably northeast about 35 miles an hour.
Yes.
We'll get over to velocity mode to just try to find the where this couplet is. But I want to just give folks a sense of where the storm is headed. Okay, so these are the communities that we're concerned with right now.
Ready for max 2.
Yeah, let's pop up on max 2 here if we could. And that's perfect. Okay, so here's some of the communities where you need to be heading to that lowest level of your home. away from windows. Okay, so this is going to be an interior room. So we're talking about Pine Creek. So, I mean, you've already got to be there. I mean, this thing's basically on top of you at this point. Jersey Shore, it's coming up on you pretty quickly. You've got 5 to 10 minutes, but don't wait. Don't look out the window. Don't try to see this thing. I mean, you can see all the rain that's surrounding this area of rotation. It's going to be nearly impossible to see it. So this isn't like those, tornadoes you see, in the movies, or, even from storm chasers out in, the western United States. Those are the kind of storms that, they're called low precipitation, so you can see them and they're very picturesque. This is not going to be that, okay? This thing is going to be all wrapped up in rain. You're not going to see it. We're just going to find a lot of damage happening in pretty short order, again, assuming that this tornado is on the ground. It's a radar-indicated tornado, and so this is what you need to be doing. Jersey Shore, head to the lower center of your room. Old Lycoming, heads up. I believe Williamsport is included in the warning, yes?
Williamsport and South Williamsport, yes.
Okay, so yeah, so you should just be going to the lowest level of your house. Allie, I think you get some tips up. There. Actually, no, you know what? Let's leave it on the warning because my screen's a little confusing. Let's go back over to Max 1 here for a second, and Allie can just kind of talk about the polygon and where the storm is heading.
Right, so the area shaded in red, of course, we've seen these severe thunderstorm warnings, which are the area shaded in yellow for the last couple of hours, and we have them to the south as well, but it's the area shaded in red that's the tornado warning. And included in that, like John was just mentioning, is Williamsport and South Williamsport, which becomes a bigger concern because of just how much more of a populated area this is than maybe some of the more rural areas we were seeing those tornado warnings a little while ago. So this goes until 8:15, about 15, a little bit more than 15 more minutes, and Williamsport and the South Williamsport area is the area where you want to be taking shelter now. So I will bring up those tornado safety tips. Heading for the basement is the safest place to be if you do have a basement, if not, just the first level of your home. And away from any windows, getting into the most interior part of your home. So getting as many walls between you and the outdoors as possible. And once you're there, protecting yourself, especially your head, so you can get under anything sturdy like a table and protecting your head with anything sturdy, or a helmet or a pillow, anything like that. Of course, flying debris, the biggest concern within rotation, within tornadic activity. So protecting your head is definitely one of the most important things. And if you do know anybody in this area that may have lost power already, trying to let them know that we are streaming on our app. We're also now streaming on Facebook, if Zoe can confirm that with a thumbs up. We are streaming live on Facebook now as well. And the WNEP app, not only can you turn on your alerts, but there's also just a really good interactive radar on the WNEP app. Once you download that and you head over to weather, you can see the radar there. And
then if we can have someone in the control room too, if you can point the Williamsport camera, probably the easiest way to describe it is maybe just turn it a little bit to the right. Just angle it a little bit to the right. We're going to be able to take that here shortly. And you can kind of see that, yeah, leave it right there is fine. We've seen a couple of flashes here. In fact, let's just bring that up if we can. If we can bring up the Williamsport camera. So this is what we're watching, okay? So Williamsport, this camera location. Okay, we're looking back to the west here with this, or southwest. And there you go.
It is.
There's that cloud to ground lightning strike. You just saw that there on the lower left of your screen. So that's another concern. I mean, look. If this thing isn't producing a tornado, it's still producing some very damaging wind gusts, all right? And we've also got dangerous cloud-to-ground lightning. So that's why we're saying, look, if you can get a picture safely of what's going on, by all means, but don't put yourself in harm's way just to get a photo to us, okay? I mean, these storms are packing a wallop today, and they really mean business. If we can hop on over to Max 2 for a brief moment here, I want to kind of show you the latest scan on, yeah, there we go. So this is what we call velocity mode. So, well, everyone just found out that I'm colorblind, but how I always describe this to everyone is cool colors are coming towards the radar and warm colors are moving away. So I'm going to take away the direction that this thing is moving in just a second to demonstrate this. So cool colors are going to be right in here, okay, and the warm colors are blowing away. So this is what's known as a rotational couplet, and this is what meteorologists are looking at to determine, if there's strong rotation within a storm, and that's a good indicator. Not the be-all, tell-all, but it's a good indicator that you've got some, a potential tornado on the ground. And right now, this thing is over the Avis area. And here's the latest scan. And what's kind of telling about this, Allie, is that the cool and the warm colors, they're not so close together anymore. So the warm colors are in here, cool colors are out here. So the distance between those two is further out. So we call that a little bit of weakening. But Allie, you wanted to point something out
Well, I was
here.
just going to ask you if you can go down a little bit
Sure.
farther south, because
Okay.
we have a severe thunderstorm warning also issued for the western parts of Union and Snyder County. And like John was mentioning, either way, whether it's a tornado on the ground or not, there is a lot of lightning associated with this, and this severe warned storm has over 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts.
Wow.
So definitely another concern is a little bit farther south of Interstate 80.
Sure, and in fact, I just popped it up on the screen here. So, I mean, this is probably 3,000 feet or so above ground, so the radar is going out, and as it goes out, of course, the curvature of the Earth, so it's looking up a little bit in the storm. But we're still looking at some winds 3,000 feet off the ground in the 60s of miles per hour, so that's severe criteria. And with the heavy rain that's also surrounding the storm, there's no doubt that this is what's called mixing down, or coming all the way down to the ground, and producing some very strong winds. So this is going to be east of Beaver Springs, probably just to the north of 522 here. So we're talking about the communities of Benfer, Kissimmee, heads up. This is a severe thunderstorm warning for you. Port Anne, also Beaver Town, heads up in your neck of the woods too. Storm moving in your general direction. But the reason that we're, and actually, oh, we still have mine up, and that's fine. But we're also talking about some other potential spin in there. And now, if you could just push that up just a little bit. So we've got what's called early detection rotation here. So this is an algorithm that our computer uses, and it says, hey, you know what? Things are spinning around here. This could potentially come a tornado. We don't have any warnings, tornado warnings on this cell, but it's kind of like a hey, heads up. But Allie, let's jump back up into the the reason that we're on the air right now for that tornado warned storm.
So there it is, the polygon, but now I'll show it to you on radar as well.
Perfect. Okay, so it looks like we're crossing over the Clinton County line here. We're getting into far western Lycoming County. So we're going to call out some communities here. Jersey Shore, you got to be in your tornado shelter at this point. Lowest level of your home, interior room. And I know, sometimes people kind of joke, Allie, we're talking about helmets, but I mean, the two things that get people in tornadoes. First off is the blowing debris, right? It's stuff flying through windows, and you did this. I mean, you covered this in your severe weather special. The other thing is, and I believe you covered this too, you got to have sturdy shoes on. It's summertime. People are kicking it in the pools. They're going to lakes, rivers, whatever. But you need sturdy shoes, because if you come out of your tornado shelter and everything, you have been hit by a tornado, you need sturdy shoes to get around. Otherwise, you're stepping on who knows what, and that can pose a huge concern. So as you're dashing to your shelter, heads up, grab your, pair of sneakers, get to the basement, lowest interior room of your house to stay safe from this. We've got a tornado warning in effect for another 11 minutes. Okay, this is going to include, again, we're kind of getting into the western fringes of Lycoming County now where the storm is. I don't want to give you the full heads, severe clear in eastern Clinton just yet, but, Jersey Shore, you got to be going to that tornado safe shelter. Auntie's Fort, safe shelter now. Larryville, get there now. That storm's probably only 10 minutes away or so. Williamsport, we are, again, you are under the warning. But it's not there just yet. Just getting some late word in here now, Allie. Looks like the National Weather Service is continuing the tornado warning on this cell, the Clinton-Lycoming County cell, until 8:15. Looks like it was located over Avis, and it's moving east at about 20 miles per hour. Is going to be the latest info here from the National Weather Service out in State College. So. It looks like it's going to be near Collinsville around 8:30, Williamsport and Du Bois Town around 8:40. But again, you've got plenty of time here at this point, so don't wait. Go to your tornado shelter, turn up the TV, okay, crank it up. You'll hear us down there, and or grab your phone. All right, stream us live. We're on Facebook. We're on the website, and you can stream this live coverage. Allie, I think you were about to say something there.
I was not, but I definitely can. So, so you've got weather one. So that is a look at the radar, and we'll bring you back to the look at the actual polygon. Blinking now because the National Weather Service is continuing it for another 10 minutes, so it remains in effect until 8:15. As this line continues to move east and northeast and zooming out, it's a pretty impressive line that extends from the northern part of Pennsylvania all the way down to the south central part of Pennsylvania. So we are we've seen this line enter our area right around when the news was starting at 6 o'clock. So we didn't even really get to bring you the full half-hour newscast and get to show you the 7-day or anything like that. But this warm front lifting north, and John, I'm sure you felt it. I thought it was such a difference this evening compared to earlier today. The humidity is not only a factor tonight, but it's going to be the heat and the humidity, the big stories all week long. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we've got more storms in the forecast.
All week. I mean, honestly, weather wife, hi at home. Sorry I had to dash out on dinner. But, I mean, she had a sweater on. I mean, it was kind of damp. It was clammy this morning. We went shopping. We come out, and it's just a world different. I mean, you could just feel, like, the weight of the air, I almost want to say. And that's usually a good indicator that there's a lot of juice for these storms to work with. And there's also, again, there's a lot of spin in the atmosphere today. It seems like every single one of these storms is spinning. So that's why we just really got to be heads up on this thing, and that's why, we've got this tornado-warned cell now that's crossed over into Lycoming County. You got to be going into your tornado safe shelter. I mean, it was located over Avis at the time. That's the new polygon up here from the National Weather Service. So they're kind of,
a little bit.
Yeah, they're tightening it up just a little bit, right? So, I mean, we're talking about Jersey Shore, okay? It's heading your way. It's going right over 220. I mean, this thing potentially is on 220. So if you know anyone traveling out there, okay, anyone traveling between Avis and Jersey Shore right now on 220, you got to get to a tornado safe shelter immediately. Okay, this thing could be in that vicinity. You got to be going to your tornado safe shelter now. If you're on the road, pull off, stop in a gas station. They'll let you in. All right, and they've got a safe place for you to be. Again, this is probably somewhere along the lines of 220. Again, between Avis and Jersey Shore. Get to that tornado safe shelter immediately. This thing is, again, still potentially producing a tornado right now. So this is the real deal. You got to take it seriously.
And the area shaded in yellow, that's the severe thunderstorm warning that keeps extending farther east as well. So even as this tornado warning expires in the next couple of minutes, these severe storms that have been off to our south and to our west, capable of producing a tornado. So we will be on the air tonight as long as we need to be, any additional tornado warnings that are issued. But just to give you an idea, again, all of that area shaded in yellow. So all of Union, Snyder, Northumberland, Montour, Columbia counties, all included within this severe thunderstorm warning as this line just continues to move east and northeast through the next several hours.
Yeah, and it looks like they've even added some more people to the severe thunderstorm watch too.
That did extend farther east, yes.
Yeah, that's just a good call. I mean, this line just really isn't showing a lot of signs of stopping. So, I mean, we just got to keep extending this thing further east. If we hop on over to Max 2, yeah, great. So you can see what's going on here. So yeah, we've got the tornado-warned storm. Okay, that's going to be in the Jersey Shore area. But look at what's going on. Everywhere else here. I mean, we've got this whole line that's got this kind of backwards bow to it, or a backwards C. It's a bow echo. Okay, this thing has got some dangerously strong winds. We were just looking at some scans a little while ago in the Union, Snyder County areas. I mean, winds gusts likely over 60 miles an hour with this thing. So that's very likely going to produce some damage in that area. So again, heads up. This is up and down from Mifflinburg, right down from Union down into Snyder County. Okay, so I mean, we're talking about areas basically right up and down 104 right now. So Penns Creek, Middleburg. It's actually where the oldest Korg is from. Is actually from Middleburg.
I did not know that.
Yeah, Sunshine is from a farm in Middleburg. So heads up to that family. I mean, you've got a dangerous storm heading in your direction, severe warned. All right, Globe Mills, New Berlin, heads up there. Kramer, heads up there. And, Selinsgrove under the warning too, so you got to be heads up with this thing. Again, that backward C-shaped, strong, damaging wind gust heading into Sunbury. Okay, also looks like it, may be clipping Lewisburg. You're under the warning, so you got to take that seriously. Shamokin Dam. Okay, you got to be heads up there. Up and down, 204, 304, both of those routes, some damaging wind gusts.
And a lot of lightning.
There. Oh, a ton of lightning. In fact, if we pop back over to the Williamsport camera, if we could, in the control room, and what you're going to see there is, again, the dark, kind of menacing-looking sky. We've seen some cloud-to-ground lightning strikes, from time to time in this particular shot. Right now, not seeing, well, there's a flash. See, you speak too soon. You speak too soon, and there's the flashes. So there you go. Let's see here. We got to jump back into, why we're on the air here, Allie. If you can pop up your warning on Max 1, that would be a dandy, and take that away.
So the areas shaded in red, that polygon, that's the tornado warning that goes for another 4 minutes, but The area shaded in yellow is the severe thunderstorm warning. So again, as this line does move east, wouldn't necessarily be surprised if the tornado warnings also extend east. So we will go off air officially at 8:15 when the tornado warning expires, but we will be back on this evening whenever we need to be, if any additional ones are. And again, just letting anybody know who may lose power or may not be, near a TV, that we will be live streaming on our app, and we'll be live streaming on WNEP Weather and WNEP's Facebook page.
Perfect.
And an additional severe thunderstorm warning just was issued for Wyoming County. So again, we're just seeing this trend, this polygon of tornado warnings and severe thunderstorm warnings. They're just going to continue to move east through the next couple of hours.
Absolutely. And you know what? This one also has that tornado possible tag on it from the National Weather Service. We've seen this a few times today. This is the same cell that was down in Sullivan County, southern Sullivan County. That was severe thunderstorm warned for a time. Now that cell is drifting into western Wyoming County, and again, it's got some spin to it. As I was just saying a little while ago, I mean, it seems like every single one of these storms today is spinning like a top, so it really doesn't take much at that point for these things to eventually, potentially put down a tornado.
So,
But right now, the reason that we're on, Allie, of course, that the red polygon there, that goes till 8:15, and Williamsport is under this warning.
So for about 3 more minutes, and again, we'll come back on the air if we do need to with any additional tornado warnings through this evening, but we'll show you it on radar while we're on air for the next couple of minutes. Again, not only heavy rain, but some hail possibly, and frequent lightning, of course, also within this line of storms that is moving now into the Williamsport area as we're going off the air. Really right over Williamsport.
And of course now, Allie, we're covering up the NBA Finals, and we're really, we're not here to scare people. We're not here to hear ourselves talk. All right, I know it's Game 3 tonight. You got the Bucks, you've got the Suns. It's a 2-0 series right now, and I know if you're a fan of both of those teams, you're pretty stoked to be there. To be watching. But of course, right now we've got this tornado warning. It's still in effect. It's still in effect for another 2 minutes officially.
And so we'll go back on air if any additional ones are issued. We'll also have the full forecast. I know I didn't bring you the 7-day or get you the full forecast. We'll have that at 10 and 11. So at 10 on WNEP 2, at 11 after the game. I forgot the game was on tonight and already started. So we may be starting the 11 o'clock news a little bit late tonight, but I'll be able to show you the full 7-day. But again, not only tonight, the threat for severe weather, but we do have more storms in the forecast. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the heat, the humidity, all the big stories this week.
Absolutely, and you're looking at a looping radar here. If we can, Mr. Dog in the back, can we go over to Max 2, please? There we go, and this is what I'm talking about with that rotational couplet. So you've got winds moving towards the radar at about 30 miles per hour, and then moving away from the radar at about 40 miles per hour. And actually, there you go. You see that last scan? That just tightened up a little bit. So we've got winds now right next to each other. I'm going to zoom right in on this. We're going to go right here, southeast of Jersey Shore. This is moving just north of Limestone right now. So along Route 44 south of 220. Again, this is that rotational couplet. We've got winds moving away from the radar, not super strong, 12 miles an hour, but right next to that we've got winds of 25. So again, these winds right next to each other. This cell continues to move east at about 20 miles per hour. So this is going to go northern side of Limestone, right up and over 654. Okay, 654. This is going right over your neck of the woods there. So again, you're just going to have to be heads up. So this is in the Oval Bastress area. Okay, so again, you're going to be heads up there. The storm is generally moving just north of that direction.
So it is 8:15, so the official tornado warning has expired, that one at least. But we will be back on air if any additional ones are issued by the National Weather Service. And again, your full forecast at 10 on WNEP2 and tonight on WNEP after the game.
Yeah, that's right. And of course, the forecast, all of these available online, including the 7-day at WNEP.com. We'll get you to the finals. We'll be back, though, if any additional tornado warnings are issued.